Hey gang, Rev here with Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Edition. Let me show you what we are doing today. We'll be right back. Okay, YouTube family friends, welcome back to another edition of Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Editions. Mechanic is a word that we used 20 years ago when I was a diesel mechanic. So we just called ourselves mechanics instead of mechanics. So this is an edition of Mustang Fanatics Mechanic Editions. So we work on and solve mechanical issues and problems. So enjoy. Okay, my buddy Harvey, you remember this 2013 Chevy Silverado 1500 work truck, 5.3 liter Vortec V8 engine. We did his door panel for him. The handle came off. Well, the day we're in, because he went to Jiffy Lube to have an oil change, and they told him he had valve cover gaskets leaking, which you can, I don't know how good you can see it right down in there, but you can see it is wet all down there. So we're going to be changing the valve cover gaskets. So we're going to try and do it the easy way. I've seen folks do it several ways, and they take all the coils off, they pull all the spark plug boots off. We're going to try and do it without pulling any spark plugs off, or spark plug boots, the coil plugs I should say, and the plugs, and pulling out any coils off. We're going to take off this top cover, and then on the driver's side we'll do the same thing. Of course we'll have to maneuver around these hoses here. The oil stick, that wouldn't pose much of a problem, and this here wouldn't pose much of a problem. And we're also going to go ahead and do an oil change for him. Jiffy Lube was supposed to give him the 5,000 mile oil service. They ended up giving him the 3,000 oil service, and he didn't like how his truck run, so they gave him semi synthetic oil instead of full synthetic oil. And most Chevys I know, if you look here on the oil cap, that word says dextrose. So you want to make sure whatever brand of oil you get, that it says dextrose on it. And this is 5W30, so we're going to have to probably get this thing. Will probably take about 5.6 quarts, maybe 5.8 quarts, almost 6 quarts maybe. We'll see. Anyway, we're going to get on that dextrose 5W30 full synthetic oil. I got some here that I did previously on a Chevy. No, I think I may have thrown the bottle out. I think I threw the bottle out because I used it all on the vehicle. So I don't think I have that. But anyway, we'll go and get the dextro. As long as it has dextro on it, it'll be fine. We'll see what brand, whether it be Valvoline carries dextrose, Quaker Straight carries dextrose, Castros carry dextrose, STP carries dextrose. So we'll see which one we're going to use, and we'll get into that. But anyway, I'm going to take this cover off, and then I'll show you what else we're going to do. So we're dealing with the driver's side first. This hose, you're going to need to pull up, say that clamp right there. Well, it's a little clip that holds that on, and you just pull up on it. And we will probably get a bungee cord and hold that out of the way. But now, this is how we do it the easy way. That bolt there, 1, 2, and then we got one here. When we pull up on this one, pull up on that, you got one there,
and then you got one here on the end. So those 4 bolts you want to take off that looks like studs, okay? And what you'll have to end up doing then is we do have to loosen up the 4 injector pins on top. And once we take those loose, then we want to slide this out right here, and then we want to pull this loose, and then we can just take this whole coil set and lay it over. That way you don't have to pull coils off or pull the wires off. So here we go. We just take this main snap little ring here out of the place for the main wire for the coils, and then you want to loosen this and pull this down. It's hard to do things with one hand, but you just loosen this up and pull this down, and then same thing on the coil ends. There's a little clip. Let me show you on this one. That little clip right here, you just pull up on it and then pull up, and the coil is released. Okay, so that's how you do that one. I could do that with one hand, but this one I can't do it one hand. So as you can see, you just lift up on that tab, and I had to use my screwdriver and push up with it here, and I was able to pop that out. So we got that popped out. Okay, and so we just toss that aside. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is I got my 10mm socket for these studs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to have to take loose that PVC hose which goes up here to up here. We have to take that off. So we got our 4 studs loose, 1, 2, 3, 4, that holds on the main coil pack. So then all you want to do is just pull let's see. So it would assume, okay, I'm missing one. Have to pull that one off. We got 5 studs, so I got to get this one off right here. Now that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 studs off, we just simply pull this coil pack off and set it back off to the side. So coil pack comes off to the side, no coils taken loose, no spark plug wires taken loose, and you can see the valve cover exposed. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts that hold the valve cover gasket in, or valve cover gasket, valve cover on, should I say. So let me see if I can get this wire down the road and out of the way in here. Okay, so now all I have to work with is getting this PVC valve off right here, and then I'll go ahead and take the valve cover gasket off. Now to get this off, this little clip pushes over, and then you can stick a screwdriver up underneath it or just pull straight up on it, and it comes out right out. And a little bit of oil will leak out, but not much. And now we just tuck that behind. Now we're going to take these 4 bolts off right here, which should be 8mm bolts, and we'll pull the valve cover right off. There you have it, 1 valve cover gasket off. I already cleaned the surface. You can get a good look at the intake and exhaust valves and the rocker assembly right there. And here's the valve cover, and here's the gasket. And here I can see where it's a little wear there, and a little wear right over in here in this corner here where it's caked up with oil right around there. But overall it's not too bad. Now we're going to clean this up. These have grommets, so we got the grommets with the kit. And here's the kit, and there's the grommets, the new grommets to go to it. And this is parts number, it's Velcro, and the part number VS50504R-1 is the valve cover set for these 5.3 liter Vortec engines. And it's getting cloudy over there. It's cloudy over there, so I may not be filming much more. I'm gonna try and get this done before the rain comes in. Now it's hard to do it with one hand, but to change the grommet, you want to lift this all the way up. Then you can get your screwdriver, lightly go under here, and pull up on the grommet. And then you see the grommet starts to come loose. Do it on this side. Now the grommet is loose. And it pulls up. Well, it pulled apart. They were dry rotted. But anyway, then once you get that done, you just work your way back through here with it. And I'll show you how to put the grommet on. So to put the grommet on, you can do two things. You can set this in place. Then you want to use some type of oil. You can use motor oil to put around here, and then you just work your way in until it gets in. Or if you have silicone spray, you can use silicone spray. We're going to dip it in some old oil. So we got it lubricated with oil, and then you just want to work your way in like this here. And there it goes. She's popped in. So we got this grommet in, we got that grommet in. So got that grommet in, that grommet in. So we got to take these two out and do it. So that's how we do those. Okay, I got my new Velcro gasket on. You notice it has 3 indents, and that's how you know you got it go on right. You fit it on all the way around the groove. Okay, and it goes right inside there. Now I got a little trick that I do. I got a little silicone lubricant that I spray around here, and what that will allow me to do is when I'm putting the valve cover back on the head, it allowed me to move around a little bit without the gasket coming off. That's just a little trick. And then the way you want to tighten it, you want to tighten it here, then here, then here, then here. You want to go from the inside out. So I believe you can go here, here, then there, there, and only tighten it down until you feel that metal hit. Not too tight, because then you can ruin the grommets. Now note the way to put the studs back in. You don't want it that side. You want it with the bolt side up so you can screw it in. And you get all 5 of those studs back in, and you connect all your wires and the PVC holes, and you're done on this side, and you go to the next side. And that's the way you do it without taking all those coils off and taking the plugs out. Waste of time. Waste of time. And when you're tightening down the valve cover bolts, you want to make sure you just tighten them down, like I said, until you feel a grommet hit and stop, because you can easily strip those out. So it doesn't need to be that tight. So we got one side done. Like I said, we're not going to film the other side, but you just do the same thing. You just got a few more things to move out of the way. And that's how you do valve cover gaskets on a Chevy Silverado 1500 work truck, 5.3 liter V8 Mustang Fanatic Mechanic Edition. Rev it up. God bless. Okay, YouTube family friends, rev it up, Mustang Fanatic Mechanic Edition. We're on the passenger side to show you that you can do the same thing without removing a whole bunch of stuff. Same thing I did on the driver's side. On the passenger side, the main coil bolt. Okay, loosen up all the coil wires, and I'll have them out of the way. I got this wire out of the way. The heater hose clamp was clamped on to one of the spark plug rail, the coil rails, and I pulled one spark plug boot off the coil so I can slip the coil pack, the whole assembly, is laying right down here on the manifold pipe. So now all I got to do is take those 4 8mm bolts out, and we can slide the valve cover gasket out this way. But first, we got to remove another PVC valve, which is right here. And again, you push up on that and pull back. Okay, so let me show you 2 important things that I've done. Number 1, you're gonna need a ratchet wrench. If you don't have a ratchet wrench, good luck with a regular wrench. To take loose this last bolt that goes way in the back of the valve cover to hold the coil assembly on. The next thing, the oil fill tube, or the oil check dipstick, I took that loose from that bolt right there. I'll home in on it. Yes, that bolt right there. So I have a little bit room there. Then the ground wire cable, which is right here, the ground wire cable, and another ground right here, which this went into the top of the block right here, right there. So I took that loose so I have room to slide the valve cover in and out. So we got everything cleaned up on the inside. We got the valve cover clean around the grooves, and on the outside there we got them clean. Now, we already showed you how to change grommets, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to put the valve cover on the gasket, spray silicone on it, put it back in, bolt it down, and get this thing ready to go. Okay, before I finish up, I want to tell you something that will help you in the long run. I didn't notice it on the other side, but this side I noticed it. But the injector plugs, harness wire, you don't have to disconnect these wires. Only this main wire, when you pull this out and pull this club, took it out, that's the only one you have to take out. These wires are going to go right with the whole coil bracket and lean down there on the exhaust. And now that I got everything back in place, I can take this one spark plug boot that I took off. What is this, the number 2 cylinder, is it? Yeah, number 2. And put this back in place. And now all I gotta do is tighten up my 4 bolts, get the bungee cords off of these, put this heater hose clamp back on, which is part of the assembly that holds the coil bracket on. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in the back, and right down there, let's see if it'll focus. Right there, let's see where my finger is. Okay, there's my ratchet wrench. It's kind of dark down there, but there it is. You see that silver piece right up there? That's what my ratchet wrench is, on that last bolt back there. There you can see it clearly now. That's my ratchet wrench, where I used to loosen and then tighten that last stud on for the whole coil assembly pack. So while I'm cleaning up my tools, we're gonna let this 5.3 liter run sprout idle out here and check for any leaks. And then we're going to take it for a ride to Walmart. And that was the compressor, the fan cutting off and on, because the AC's on. And we're going to take a cruise to Walmart. We're going to get the proper oil, and we're going to do an oil change, and then we'll be through with this baby. But that's an easy way to do valve cover gaskets on a 5.3 liter Vortex Chevy engine without taking the coil, every coil pack off, without taking all the spark plug boots loose. Like I said, you don't even need to disconnect the coil plug. So just that main connection that goes to the coil pack, and then loosen the stuff around that. Then those 5 studs come out and then lay them right over on the exhaust. On the driver's side, you'll have to take the number 2 spark plug coil boot off to maneuver that out of the way so it can drop. But there you go. You can do it without taking all the coils off and all that stuff. So that's an easy way. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Edition. God bless.